Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in to another amazing episode of LaQuinta's Chatterbox. I'm your girl, LaQuinta, your host, and I am on here tonight. But before I go on, I want to say I am doing the podcast tonight from home. I am not in the studio, so y'all just hang out with me at home while we just talk and discuss, parenting, but teen parenting. But before I get started with it, I would like to address something before I even get started. And I hate that I always have to address things before I get started. But hey, doing a podcast, some things, you may have to address. So, one of the things that I want to address, anytime that I have a guest, if I invited you on the show or if you asked to be a guest on the show and you happen to be on the show, and if at any given time, I always want you to understand I'm always asking questions. I'm not making statements. I'm not assuming anything. So I will ask you, certain things. But at any given time, if you feel that during that time that I made you feel uncomfortable or you didn't like the question or the question made you feel uncomfortable, I would really appreciate it if you will address it right then and there. So we can go on and hash that out instead of waiting, on down the line, months down the line, and then, you salty or mad about something that I have no awareness of. Just, let's talk about it. That's what the podcast is for. And I always want y'all to know if you come on as a guest, my intentions is never to make you feel bad, down, or different than your feelings. I'm just here to educate myself and to educate others because there's a lot of things that I'm not aware of. And if I have a guest on here, I want to get y'all feedback. But hey, off of that, enough of that. Like I said, again, if I ever made any guests feel uncomfortable or y'all felt that I was making statements and not asking questions, my apologies. But moving on to the topic, teen parenting and the after effects. You know, I want to talk about this because I know a couple of women that were teen parents that I grew up with, and the effects of teen parenting, we just always think about, a kid, having children, but we don't think about the effects of teen parenting. I don't know if any of y'all have been teen parents on here. I don't know if y'all been teen parents on here. I was not a teen parent. I had my first child at 21. But like I said, I knew people that did. And from that, children, this is what I want y'all to understand. When a parent is a teen and having a kid, of course, they know they shouldn't been out there doing what they were doing to get in that situation. But have y'all ever thought about maybe they had to grow up too soon, wanted to do things that they shouldn't have been doing? But in that, they end up getting pregnant. Things happen just like things happen now, things happen then. But I want to address this because once you get an adult, you don't realize, if my mom was a teen parent, what did that look like for her? Was it, you think it was easy being a teen parent? No, it's not easy because you just gotta look at it. If you were 12 or 13, and I know that's pretty young to have had children, but if you were that age and having children, did y'all ever realize that they wasn't smart on educated on knowing about being a parent? That was something that they had to learn. So it was like kids having kids. And once, like I said, our kids get adults, they never realized that, hey, we was growing and learning just like y'all was growing and learning. But once again, that's the effects of teen parenting. You said a lot of people get offended because they're forced to tell the truth and they used to lie. Keep going through right. People are used to lying. But sometimes you got to understand or ask yourself, why do people have to lie? Especially if it's a teen that is having sex or end up getting pregnant. Have you ever thought about why did they have to lie? What made them have to lie? Sometimes as parents, we forget about what it's like to be teens, what it's like to be 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16. We can't act like, because I know now, I can only speak from my own experience. Honey, when I was 14, 15, I wanted to be grown. I wanted to do everything that grown-ups were doing, especially my older cousins, my older friends. I wanted to do the things that they were doing. Hell, I was going to the club. I was dating older guys, something I shouldn't have been doing. So I just think about, what if at that time I would have become pregnant? How would I have survived that, and what would I have done? Of course, I would have probably had my parents' support and all that, but I still would have been a kid, a kid raising a kid, learning, trying to figure things out. And I wanted, the older kids that's now, that come from teen parenting, give your parents grace. Give them grace with that, because you never know what they had to go through being a teen parent. Because I'm quite sure it's not easy. It wasn't easy, but we'd be so quick to point the finger and say, when I was a kid, focus more on your friends. You focus more on partying, the hot life, the street life. But yeah, you got to understand they were kids. They weren't ready to stop playing in the streets and stop going and hanging out and doing that just because they had a baby. So, they had to learn to be parents and learn to be good parents. And sometimes you got to understand that some teen parents wasn't raised around love, companions. Not saying that, some wasn't, but it was a lot. I'm sorry, not saying that you was, but it was a lot of people that wasn't raised around love, support, companionship. So that's something that they can't give. You can't give something that you've never been taught. That's what I've always thought. I couldn't teach my kids to do something that I wasn't taught. I learned. I had to learn going as being a parent. I learned as I went. And I'm quite sure a lot of parents did, they learned as they went on. But see, that's one of the effects of being a teen parent. You got to look at when your kids get older, how they're gonna feel and what they're gonna say. And we just be out here doing things, wild, reckless, and loose. And it's causing an effect to all of that. And the effect is being told, you wasn't a good parent, or, you chose to hang out and not be at home, or you chose to be with your friends. Those are the effects of being a teen parent. I mean, do you think that's easy? Who wants to hear that, you wasn't a good parent, especially when you know that you was doing the best that you could? You understand that? A lot of teen parents, they were doing the best that they knew how to do as being, a kid raising kids. And I know when I was 13, I was still playing and double dutching and hopscotching and all that. But it was some 12 and 13-year-old was changing diapers. Not because they wanted to, but because they had to. It's just something to think about. Hey, it's something really to focus on and to think about. And the other effects of being a teen parent is, being a grandparent early. Yeah, I thought about that. Some of us wasn't ready to be parents, then we was rushing to being grandparents. And on the other hand, the mistakes that we made with being parents, I feel like a lot of us did better in grandparenting. Because I know, like I said, I wasn't a teen parent, but I had my first child at 21. And 21 was too early because I missed out on a lot of things that I wanted to be doing, and I couldn't do because what? I had to be a parent. I had to raise kids, and me, I had my kids back to back. My two oldest, they were back to back. So I had two kids in diapers. It was just like raising twins. And I was fortunate to have their dad in the house. That made it a little bit easier. But what about the ones that didn't? You see what I'm saying? And I know I have a lot of um, after effects of even raising kids at age 21. Simple fact, because I say that, I didn't get a chance to know what my 20s was like. I didn't get to enjoy those. I didn't get to go out and do things. Like I said, I did that in my early age, like 16, 17, but hell, I didn't know what it was all about. But when I got in my 20s, when I wanted to do it and I could do it safely, I couldn't because I was a parent raising kids, changing diapers, and getting kids ready for school. So I don't know what 20s even felt like because I was a parent and I was a wife. So that made it double hard. You know what I'm saying? Being that young and you have to be, a mother of two and a wife. You have this triple duty if you think about it. And I feel like I was learning. I was learning things as I went. Even though my mom, I feel like she was a great mom, but she wouldn't teach me, or I wasn't paying attention to, about paying bills and grocery shopping and all that. Hell, I learned that when I got in my late 20s how to grocery shop. Some I probably should have been learning, but I went into that. I wanted to do other things when I was young. But back to what I was saying, what about the teen parents that didn't have their dad in the household? Because you got to look at, they was like 13, 14 years old. One of the boys living with them. So the grandmother had to help raise the kids. And I know they get a lot of backlash from that. You didn't raise me, my grandma raised me, or you weren't there, you was out. Yeah, there was a kid trying to enjoy and try to figure some shit out. And you think that's easy trying to figure it out as a kid and you got a whole mouth that you have to feed. But you a kid just want to have fun. What do y'all ever think about that? I'm talking about the ones that criticize their moms now. You ever think about, if you happen to be a parent now, your child that's 13 or 14 or 15 years old, could you imagine them being a parent? How do you think, their mindset is on being a parent at that age? Their mindset ain't as bright as you think it should be. Like I said, they're learning. Hey, Joyce. Sometimes being a teen mom is never easy, whether you have the support or not. I say that because now you have to grow up faster than you normally would. Right. Sometimes you have support and sometimes you don't. But even when you have the support, hell, it's still not easy because you still deal with when the child get older, especially if you want to still be out here and enjoy your teen life, that your child gonna hold you all types of whole resentment against you for that. They're gonna feel like you was a bad parent just because you was actually trying to figure it out, and they thought that you should have had it all together just because you was a parent. And I know a lot of us did things that we shouldn't have done at younger age. Yeah, some of us start screwing early, knowing doggone well we shouldn't. But what's the side effects of that? Teen pregnancy. Sometimes a single parent that makes you a single parent, especially when you start early. And yeah, I'm drinking this ice. I don't know if y'all know if a lot of people even drink these ice drinks, 0 calories, 0 sugar, taste like sweet and low, but if you drink them really cold, they're great. I've been on this no alcohol journey for the whole month of January. I got 2 weeks left, no alcohol. I'm loving it. It's okay. I just got to get used to it. It's something to get used to because I'm used to having me at least some wine or something. But hey, no alcohol January, no meat January. Trying not to eat too many carbs. As medicine say, don't eat too many carbs. But yeah, y'all, like I say, side effects of teen parenting. And I wish the kids that come from teen parenting, like I say, give your mom, your dad, give them grace because they didn't have it all together. Like I say, they were learning, they were just trying to figure things out. They still want to party. They still want to have fun. They still want to grow. Like me, I'm 48 years old and I'm just now really living my 20s in my late 40s because I had to, like I say, be a mom at such an early age in my early 20s. I was a mom and a wife. So, I'm just now getting to, like I say, let my hair down and travel the world and do things that you should have been doing when you're in your 20s. I'm just not getting to do those things because now all of my children are grown. And I guess that's one of the good effects, side effects of being a teen parent or a young parent. Your kids grow up early or a little sooner than the ones that waited and were late bloomers that had their kids later on in life. I got some friends my age, shit, they got 4 and 5 year olds. I couldn't imagine if 48 having a 4 or 5 year old. I couldn't imagine having a 15-year-old right now. Because these new generation kids, y'all something totally different. Y'all, I don't even want to get on y'all. That's a whole nother topic once we start getting on these new age kids. But yeah, y'all, teen, like I say, side effects. Let's talk about side effects, teen parent. That's what I'm talking about. The aftermath of teen parenting. How many of y'all on here that was teen parenting? What did you have to face? Yeah, they are a new breed, honey. Something different. They are something different. So what is everybody doing this good Saturday? It's cold outside. I got out just a little bit today. Went to the shop to get my laptop because it's been up there since the snow. It was snowed in at the shop and I was snowed in at home. I'm glad to see everybody was safe and made it back to the podcast. Yep. But I ain't doing nothing the rest of the night. Just gonna watch movies and then enjoy this good Saturday. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. That ice drink, I was addicted to Coke, so I'm gonna say that. And this made me to where I don't have to have Coke so much. The acid. Yeah, I know it was hard. Like I say, I wasn't a teen parent either, Joyce, but I did have my baby when I was like 21 years old. And I watched my friends that did have babies when they were young, and it was hard. But like I said, when we got ready to go walking, we took the babies with us to go walking. Probably shouldn't have, but we did. We took turns changing diapers and doing everything. It was like playing house. It was just like playing house. And that's something that kids don't realize. Like I say, kids having kids. So yeah, we was playing house with kids. We didn't really know what it was like to be a parent. We thought, I don't think combing hair. That's the only thing I know for a fact that I want to do is dress my baby up and comb hair. I wasn't thinking about it's certain things you got to teach this baby. It's certain things you're gonna have to show this girl what to do and show this boy on what to do. Learning by trial and error. Some parents did some parents did put their kids out, and it I never imagined being put out. I never imagined or could imagine being put out when I was a teen. Yeah, because I ain't had no job. And when I did have a job, all my money went on shopping. If I would have had a baby and having to do it on my own, I would have been lost. Would have been lost. And a lot of kids, they would feel upset about they had to grow up in the project, so they had to grow up having less than their friends had. But once again, that comes from being a teen parent. You couldn't expect them to be making a whole lot of money to be able to do a whole lot. And what if that teen parent still stayed at home with their mom and dad, and their mom and dad had 5 and 6 kids? And then you a teen parent, you brought another baby in the house. That's a whole nother amount that they have to feed. So yeah, it does forces you to grow up sooner than you have to. Your whole childhood is taken away from you. And some people don't want their childhood to being taken away from them. And so they start being, unfit parent. Sometimes being a teen parent, it makes you be unfit. Not that you're trying to be unfit, it's just that you don't know things. A lot of things you just don't know. You're still ready to have fun. You don't know the seriousness and the importance of being a parent. It ain't no blueprint to parenting. I don't think it's just like marriage. You learn as you go. Trial and error. You're gonna make mistakes. Hopefully, a lot of us learned from our mistakes, but a lot of us didn't. It is what it is. Right? They got to figure out how they gonna go to school, how they gonna take care of the baby, how they gonna do a lot of things. And just imagine if you was 13 or 14 years old and you had a baby, you couldn't drive. You didn't have a driving license. You couldn't, take kids to doctor's appointments. Who had to do that? More than likely your mom. Or some kids that was raised by the dads. So that ended up making the mom and dad have an extra child that they wasn't prepared to have. And sometimes that can make you feel guilty because you put a burden on your parents and they never let you live it down. And let's don't get on the kids that was raised in, a religious household or a strict household. Hey, Mama Dolores, how you doing? Well, I miss you too. I didn't see you. I didn't even know you was there until I looked on Little Bit's pictures and saw that you was there. I always be happy to see you, and I hate I didn't get a chance to see you. But thank you for watching. Yeah, Miss Dolores, Mama Dolores, we're talking about teen parenting and the side effects and the effects of it. How it wasn't easy raising kids, being teens, what all we had to endure, being a teen parent, the pros and cons of it. Is it some pros of it? Like I say, the pros to have being a teen parent to me would be, getting them they on out the way now. So now it's time to really live our life and be the best that we can be for ourselves. I think that's one of the pros. And another pro, and having our grandkids and being in a situation now that we're more stable to where we can be great grandparents. Because that's another thing I think, like I say, kids need to look at, teen parent, they may not wasn't great parents because they were teens, they were so young having kids, but now that they're grandparents, are they great grandparents? Are they doing the things for their grandchildren that you wish they would have done for you, but they didn't? That's why I say give them grace. If they're being a great grandparent and they're doing the things that with your children that you wanted them to do, Hey Lanisha, how you doing? And congratulations on your business, girl. I'm loving the balloons. I'm loving everything that you're doing. Wishing sold out all 2025. That's what I say to all my anybody that's in business. I'm wishing sold out, continual business and new clients all 2025 for all of us. Yes, teen parents. You know, being a teen parent. Lanisha, was you a teen parent? I don't know. If you was, what was the side effect or pros and cons from being a teen parent? Was it any obstacles that you had to face, or do y'all know any obstacles that you have to go through being a teen parent? Because we may have some teen parents out here right now that's watching. And another thing, you have to look at the side effects of it. Sometimes, because I know an incident to where a 13-year-old girl got pregnant. This was back when I was young. She got pregnant, but she didn't get pregnant by another 13-year-old. Sometimes as kids, we get taken advantage of by adults. Even though we may act fast, as the old people would say, want to be out here and grown guys' faces, but they knew better. They knew better. But sometimes, it happens to where an older guy end up messing with a younger girl, and she end up pregnant. So what should she do? Should she tell that she got pregnant by this older guy, or should she not? Lives can be damaged and hurt behind, mistakes. But that's a mistake on his end and her end. But a lot of that did go on. A lot of that went on to where, older guys was having sex and making babies by 13 and 14-year-old girls. And they weren't gonna go and say that they had a baby or they was messing around with this baby because they was too scared of getting in trouble. Lanisha said you had your first at 19 and it was definitely a challenge. Yes, at 19, I know it was a challenge at 19. Like I said, because it was a challenge for me at 21. So I just imagine at 19, that's hard. Just getting out of high school, trying to figure things out, ready to enjoy life. But do life stop? Should life stop or did life stop? You know, when, like I say, if we're a teen and having babies, we think like teens. Even though we're forced to grow up earlier, sooner than we want to or should, we still think like kids. Still think like kids. So when you think about, or when you're ready to, throw stones at your mom or your dad and think they were a bad parent because they had you at a young age, just think about when you were their age. How was your mind? What state was you in? Do you think you was ready to be a parent? Do you think you was ready or you had it all together? No. Not at 14, 15, 16, honey, at 21, I didn't have it all together. So I couldn't imagine being younger than that having a baby. And my kids still ain't giving me no grace. But hey, give your parents grace. Give them mercy because they deserve that. Because you don't know how hard it was, raising you. You don't know the challenges that they had to face. You don't know the backlash. You don't know the struggles. And I'm quite sure it's a lot of struggles being a teen parent. But I'm so thankful now that we have so many different resources that we didn't have back then. And another thing, could you just imagine in my time and my days if they had social media then? Boy, you think the kids give us hell now on the type of parenting that we was. Could you imagine if they saw some of the things that we did, or we were able to look up some of the things that they're able to look up now? Maybe things would have been a lot easier. Who's to say? because technology now it helping kids, raise kids. You can Google just about anything and learn something. It's just like going to college. And we definitely didn't have that back then. We just had to go on what we saw our moms doing, what we saw our grandmothers doing, our aunts, our dads, or people in the neighborhood. We went off of that. And sometimes those things wasn't good. But that's the only thing we had to learn from. And it was like trial and error, trial and error. Everything was trial and error. Changing diapers. When you first change a diaper, you think we got it down to pack the first time. Heck no. The baby look, it was some leaking on one end, tear on another end, didn't take the tape off the first time good, all types of trial and error, trial and error. Mm. Yeah, I was just sitting here and I was looking on because I got two screens up, and I was just sitting here looking on another story that they were showing, and we sitting here talking about teen parenting, and I saw where a teen on here was getting ready to have a baby, and I be seeing everything on YouTube, everything. Mm, wow. Okay. So tomorrow's a good Sunday, getting ready for Martin Luther King holiday. What is everybody doing? Y'all going to the parade? Just gonna sit at home. How many of y'all still got to work? I was hearing today that some people that still had to work, they was like, shit, we gonna still work. Martin Luther King holiday and all. I'm off. I'm closed. Don't have any clients Monday. But yeah, we were talking about teen parenting and the after effects. So many different after effects, so many challenges, so many struggles. You'll be outside, Marcia. I bet you will. Were you a teen parent? I can't remember if you said you was a teen parent. You still look young anyway. But yeah, we're talking about side effects of teen parenting, the challenges, the pros and cons of it, the things that teen parents have to face, and some of the backlashes of being a teen parent. How so uneasy it was because a lot of people seem to think it was easy, especially the kids that come from teen. A parent having a teen parent, they thought it was so easy, and we had it all together, and we should have did better than what we did. Not knowing how we was just kids trying to figure it out. And I say we, like I say, I had my first child when I was 21. So I'm not gonna say I was a teen, parent, but I had kids way before I should have. Because if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have waited. I would have still had my children in my 20s, but not my early 20s. And I definitely wouldn't have been married in my early 20s like that. Because, like I say, when you start having kids, raising a family and everything, you miss out on a whole lot. Marcia said, yes, I had my son young. I dropped out. And that's something a lot. That's one of the side effects and the after effects of being a teen parent. Joyce had talked about that earlier. You have to, drop out of school and start working. Grateful that you got your GED. A lot of people still didn't even go back and get their GED because it was like, hell, it never got easy, or it never got to the point where they could, because raising kids. And once they started having kids, they kept having them. That was another thing. I knew a girl that by the time we finished high school, a lot of people that went to high school with me, they would know exactly who I'm talking about. She graduated with 2 kids. So could you imagine, graduating high school with 2 kids? Luckily, she still graduated. Could have been like Marcia, had to drop out and get a job. Some people didn't have it easy to where they could go to school and still, have support to raise their kids. Right. And that's exactly what I was saying, Marcia. When you're a teen parent, you grow up with your kids. So when you're growing up with them, what you doing? You learning as they learn. And there's gonna be a lot of things that you don't get right, as you shouldn't, because you're a kid. Marcia said it scared her straight. I bet it did scare you straight. But a lot of people didn't learn from their mistakes. Yeah, some people, like I say, started having babies and didn't stop. By 25, I know a girl by 25 had 5 kids. Could you imagine being 25 having 5 kids and wasn't scared straight at all? You're very strong to have still graduated. Very strong. This, I guess her, having a good support system, because her mom, I think her mom owned a daycare. So, she didn't have to worry about daycare. Probably didn't have to worry about a lot of things that some people did have to worry about. I had a friend that had a child early, and once she had one, she had another, and she had to drop out. But hell, all of us have raised her kids, I would think. I think 'cause we were all friends. And when you have friends like that, being young, all of y'all raising. Yeah, they take turns being at this person house, or this person keeping them, this person mama keeping them, this person mama keeping them. And it takes a village. So sometimes it takes a lot of people. But every team did not have a village. And could you imagine not having a village, how hard it would be? It's very hard. So there comes the word again, giving your parents grace. Give them grace. Understand that it wasn't easy. They were growing up with you. So if they were growing up with you, they were learning just like you were learning. Y'all was learning together. Sometimes when you be a teen parent, you and your kid end up being best friends. Y'all be thick as thieves because y'all grew up being so close. And sometimes being a teen parent, it can drive a wedge between you and your kid, because the grandmother or the grandfather had to raise you. So you have a bigger bond with your grandparent versus with your parent. It weighs up and down to me. Doesn't have a blueprint at all. There's no, they start writing books on parenting and the certain things you're supposed to do. But if you're a real parent, honey, everything in that book is not going to teach you how to be a parent. It's not going to teach you what to do when that baby get colic. It's not going to teach you what to do when you done changed that baby and you done fed that baby and that baby's still crying. It's not going to teach you what to do when you go work at McDonald's and making, back then, minimum wage for us was like, I think, 6.25. It's not a blueprint on how to make 6.25 stretch for you and a toddler. Yes, it's tough. It's tough mentally, physically, and emotionally, being young and having yes, that's life changing. Having a baby is life changing. Being pregnant is life changing. Just starting off, and like I said, I was 21 when I had my baby, and just getting pregnant changed me. But that's before I even had my baby, because I never thought my body would stretch out like it did. I never thought that I would feel the things that I felt being pregnant. So yeah, it was just so much. It was definitely the bare minimum back then. When I think it was 6, or maybe it was 5.25. I can't remember. It's been so long ago because I got my first job when I was 14 in Rallis. I worked there 2 weeks. Honey, it was too small for me, too uncomfortable. I was not there long. Yeah, pregnancy is mind blowing. I was 21 years old and I still was not ready to be a parent. I was not ready to for what came with having a baby. Like I said, only thing I was thinking about was honeycombing my daughter's hair, making her pretty, having my son on the nicest tennis shoes. And back then we had the middle creases. So she had the middle crease for my son, and that's the only thing that I thought about. I didn't think about all that other stuff that went with it. Your first job was McDonald's. That was my second job. McDonald's, and it was the McDonald's on Rodney Perham. And at that time, it was three LaQuintas that worked there. We all had different nicknames. I was Quana, it was Queenie, and it was Quincy. But all our name was LaQuinta. But yeah, I worked at McDonald's. That was my second job. Okay, when we were young, that's the only thing we thought about was keeping our kids clean, keeping our boys clean, keeping him fresh, and like I said, keeping my daughter the hair comb and nice little Bobby socks on and pretty little dresses, and it's just like playing house, basically. When you playing house, how you had your baby dolls all dressed up and pretty, not realizing hell, it's a whole lot deeper than dressing your child up. It's a whole lot deeper than having your son fresh to death. It's so much other stuff that you have to deal with, and so much other things that you have to go without being a teen parent. You going without going skating with your friends. You going, without going to the movies. Because if you was like my mama, honey, if you have a kid, wherever you go, that baby go. And ain't no babies go. You can't take no babies to no parties. Can't take no babies skating. So what we had to do? Sit at home and miss out on everything. So, and when you do that, sometimes it hold resentment. You resent yourself for having a kid. Sometimes some parents may resent the kid for even being born to where they have to miss out. That's one of the effects of, being a teen parent. And that's why I say it wasn't easy. I didn't have to miss out on things, but what about the parents that did? Girl, no one no just picking up and go. Honey, yeah, you pick up and go if you want to. You pick up and go, you picking up and going, taking that baby with you. Our kids was our dogs. That's right. She's a real life Barbie, and that she is, Joyce. That's my niece. My lip gloss. Girl, I got your lip gloss on right now. You can't really see because it's light in here. If we don't have I don't have the same lighting in my house as I have in the shop. So I got my lip gloss on. That Joyce baby, my niece made. Y'all need to get with it. You just can't see right now. But we got a brown and we got a red. But see if I far away you can see it. You see it on them big juicy kissable lips. Yes. Teen parenting, like I said, once again, if you were a prodigy of a teen parent, give your mom and your dad grace. They did not have it easy. It was hard for them. They were learning as they went. They were learning just like you were learning. They were growing with you. Y'all was basically like best friends. Just know that. I don't know what this is popping up. Oh. I guess it's somebody sharing it. When it's shared, it pops up loud on this end. I don't even know if y'all can hear that. I'm glad y'all making some more because I need some more because my brown almost gone. I told you it was my favorite one, the brown, because I can put a little lip liner on with it, and that's all I need. And everything, every picture I'm throwing up my deuces. Y'all can hear it. Tiana, I guess that was you when you popped in. I didn't know it was that loud and y'all could hear it. But yeah, we're talking about teen parenting. Tiana, could you imagine when you were 13, 14, 15, at any age being a parent, raising a kid? Do you think that would have been easy? And like I say, I had y'all at that girl, you know that's my signature pose. But yeah, I had y'all at what you at 22, Tyler at 21, and I was learning with y'all. Do you think younger fathers get more of a break when it comes to being a parent? Of course, the dad gets a break, and I say that because when the girl, of course, they did not make the baby. The girl did not make it on her by herself. The boy didn't make it by himself. But the father, do he got to sit and babysit? Do his plans and his time have to stop because he has a baby? No, everything falls on the mom. But yeah, that's just not in teen parenting. That's in adult parenting too. And the fathers that was teens, you can't put them on child support. What help are you going to get from them? Because they still living with their parents. You know, the teen fathers, they got to do just about whatever they want to do. Their life didn't stop just because they got a girl pregnant. They were still doing their thing, out making another girl pregnant. Hell, trying to make another baby. Some guys had 3 and 4 babies by 3 and 4 different girls by the time they get out of high school. You know, the stipulations for them is totally different how society put it, because one thing about it, a mama, she always have to be a mama. You know, we always have to take care of the kids and do everything it takes. The daddy, she go do what he want to do. You know, his mama ain't finna take the baby. 9 out of 10. You got some boy moms, they will take the baby and they will help out, but a lot of them back, I know in my days, the girl always had the baby. George say they do get a break. Right, they're not in the same household. Like if they 13, 14, 15, 16, they still living with their mama. And you know, if your teen daughter got pregnant, you ain't finna let her boyfriend or her baby daddy come stay with you. And that's not even finna happen a lot of times when you grown. So you know we ain't finna have 2 kids living up under my roof, laying up like they married or laying up like they grown. So he get to still go out and live his teen life, live his pre-20s and 20s and all that, get to still do that. But that girl, she got to drop out of school and get a job and make a way. He ain't got to do none of that. You got some that do and a majority of them that don't, especially when they're teens. They just thinking about the next girl that can go live with. And that's going on right now. I guess that's why they got this big thing where they need to put their mind charts up. Because these guys, honey, they just laying pipe anywhere they can lay it. And these young girls allowing them to do it, not thinking about the effects of it, not only teen pregnancy, but diseases. That's out there as well. But hey, when you're young, you think young. When you, I feel like you know better, you do better. But a lot of people know better and still don't do better. Just all over the place. Yeah, I'm so thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with me, talking about teen parenting, talking about the side effects, the aftermath, the after effects of it, because there's so many different things that we have to go through being parents, not only teen parents, just being parents in general. You know, I'm thankful for my children. I'm glad God blessed me with them, because children are definitely a blessing regardless the age that you have them. I just suggest if you do have them at an age to where you're stable enough to take care of them, where you're stable enough to teach them, where you can be a role model for them. You know, being young, having kids, you're going to do a lot of fucking up. You're going to do a lot of trying to learn. You're going to do a lot of things that you shouldn't do. So I suggest if you're young on here and you're watching, take your times. Take your time. There is no rush. Honey, if he love you, he's going to be there. If he really care about you, he's going to be there. So take your time. If you was if you're older now and you was a teen parent and you finally figured it out, kudos to you. I know it wasn't easy. I know it was hard. I know it was a struggle. And my hat's off to you. My hat off to myself. But hey, I will see you guys next week. I thank y'all for coming on. And like I always say, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. So let's always try to have positive and great things in us. And if you anybody on here, y'all got some topics y'all want us to talk about, you want me to address, hit me up in my inbox. If you have an event and you want the Chatterbox to come and interview your guests and just spotlight your event, inbox us and we can talk about it. We can chatter about it. Thank y'all again. I'm your girl LaQuinta, and I will see y'all next time, next week, same time, same place, 8 o'clock p.m. My signature pose, as my daughter say. See y'all next week. And I'm out.